And we can still do that as a running gag, at least like on like when I start doing J360 TV over there. That'll be fun.
That's when you're gonna whip your dick out, right?
You mean I don't already? Anyway, look.
Oh damn! We're leaving money on the table right now.
Kind of like Ric Flair did when he was on that flight of hell or something like that. Yeah, they're now going after him on that. I'm like, the guy is over 80 and he went ahead and apologized like when all those wrestlers were acting out drunk and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
And allegedly there was a stewardess there and she saw Ric Flair whipping his dick around like a helicopter, and it was very traumatizing for her.
What the fuck?
It hit her feet.
I mean, you know, it's like this. You kind of, it's like one of them kind of things where you realize how crazy Ric Flair is, but then how crazy wrestlers and pro athletes are in general.
Yeah.
So when they ever are in this situation, it's like, damn, how do we talk about it? And like, where do we go from here? Because one way or another, it's never going to be a clean resolution.
Yeah. Like, how do you look at any of those people and think like, yeah, these people are not insane,
yeah.
Right?
You know,
that guy seems normal.
Yeah. There's maybe like 4 dudes in the history of wrestling that have their GEDs, you know, like, I highly doubt that like the Hart brothers had a PhD.
Probably not.
You know,
the ones that didn't join in the family business. Yeah.
yeah. Like, I'm not doing that shit. Are you fucking nuts? You're going to get hurt one day. That's what they said.
Shoot. You're going to need a doctor in this family.
Dr. Havoc. That's going to be the wrestler name. Fucking. How do you come up with your wrestling alter ego? Like, wouldn't you just feel like gay? Like, wouldn't you just feel kind of stupid? Like, what would before we even get started, guys, what would be your wrestling alter ego? Like, how do you, like, John Cena looked like he obviously tried and gave up halfway through putting a fucking sweatband on his arm.
Well,
whatever that was.
I mean, if you want to go that far, like, yeah.
Right. Like, what would your wrestling alter ego be?
I wouldn't have one, man. I'd be on commentary.
I get that. I feel like it'd be hard to come up with one. You look at them and you're like, this is kind of, what is this cheesy shit? But then you're like, would I even be able to come up with one?
Like, you know, like a lot of them come from WWE creative. And then there are some that have wrestled from the indies with certain names. And then if they're not able to use it, they'll come up with another one.
Kind of puts the like the masked wrestlers into perspective a little bit. Like, oh, that's why you're wearing it.
Yeah. It's like, I thought this mask would be cool because I only got time to be the Undertaker and the fucking Dudley Brothers or whatever it is, and what is it?
There's talking animal.
Yeah.
El Santo.
Yeah.
He was like a big deal, man. Like, people loved him. I was like, I actually watched one of his movies the other day, you know, as a part of Monster Fest, and I was like, this is like the corniest shit, but I can't stop looking away.
Like Goldust. Remember Goldust?
Oh, I remember Goldust.
Yeah. At least Goldust was funny.
Yeah,
that is true.
But then again, like, what in your fucking mind? Like, to be Batman, all it takes is watching your parents get murdered. Okay, to be Goldust, what the fuck does that take?
Well, what can we say that would be considered culturally correct? You know what I mean? It's all out there now. At least with Goldust was like questionable with his shit sometimes, but now it's not even like that anymore.
Yeah, wasn't he supposed to be like quasi maybe flamboyant? That was the point, right? Yeah. He was like the Richard Simmons of fucking wrestling for a while. Yes. And now he's like just tough. It's like, what is this shit?
Yeah, like there's no the gimmick has no point.
Like Yokozuna, remember that guy?
Oh yeah.
And the funny thing is, wasn't he like actually like Pacific Islander, but he pretended to be Japanese, so technically that was kind of racist.
But he got away with it though, and we could go
because
on. That's a full
because nobody could tell the difference.
Yes. I mean, that's room for a full episode about how racist pro sports can be.
I know.
A whole damn miniseries to be exact. Yeah. But I mean, like, you know, not only did Yokozuna get away with it, but over in Street Fighter, the live action movie, they got away with it because, you know, damn well that man was Samoan.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that wasn't even cool. Dude, like they didn't even try on that shit.
Hey guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. When it came to No Time to Die, I wasn't expecting much for it.
Yeah.
And they delivered on that.
Okay, so give me like this is what I get from watching the trailer and correct me if I'm wrong, either one of you, but like, Isn't every plot to every James Bond movie of the last like 7 years about somebody from his past or an ex-Bond agent like leaking a fucking email or finding out that Bond, me and you are the same. I used to do this too, but for fucking Interpol or whatever. I don't know what the fuck.
I mean, it happens periodically in any of the other Bond eras, but you can tell they were running out of ideas around like the Pierce Brosnan style.
Right.
And then going into Daniel Craig's more or less rebooted Bond anyway. So, yeah. And plus, he didn't even want to do this movie.
Yeah, that was, I think, the big hesitation, right, for years.
Yeah, he didn't even want to do this movie. And once again, I don't know whether it's because directors know they're directors or at the same time they feel as though they're being iconic when they say this crap. And I'm saying that in small doses. But why in the world would you say that the Sean Connery James Bond, the one that pretty much started the whole film library, was rapey? You know what I mean? And he didn't even come up with the movie. He didn't even know which movie he was talking about. And I know if he would have said Moonraker, I would have really told his ass off then, because Moonraker is Roger Moore.
Moonraper, you said?
Moonraper.
That's why.
Oh, hell no. Fuck that. Y'all ain't doing this. Now, like I was saying,
I mean, to be honest, like people don't know that like the James Bond books were written by a known racist, by the way.
I mean, yeah, they don't think about the books. I mean, Ian Fleming, I mean, like, hell, dude, they didn't even think about Frank Herbert for like Dune, this new Dune that's coming out. You know, Denis Villeneuve, this is his vision. His vision. It's like, yeah, his vision of a
I like
remake.
how Zendaya is just like sand people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I saw that trailer and then like, we used to mine the spices and then they took that from us. And I'm like, ooh, more Space Indians.
Yes.
Yay.
Spicy.
Hey,
yeah.
She's very important to the mythos, though. Don't forget that.
Oh, these used to be spices, now they're sand.
Yeah.
Oh. This is what happens when you don't use your spices.
It's just like fucking what?
Yeah. I mean, and then they weren't even talking about Frank Herbert's whole mythology. They were talking about Denis Villeneuve, who, by the way,
Herbert Hoover.
Yeah, he was happily saying like
a vacuum cleaner.
Well, he was happily saying like something about like his movie. God, what did he say? He did the Martin Scorsese thing. Why in the hell would you chime on that, dude? Your movie's a fucking remake.
Oh, was like when Scorsese said like superhero movies are just like
theme parks and stuff. Of course they went with it. I mean, The Irishman. Yeah, everybody ran to go see The Irishman. I remember that shit.
Mm-hmm. There were no Lucky Charms in it or Pot of Gold. I was pretty let down.
Not one.
I walked out of
I was so upset. And then someone said, this is on Netflix. And I said, it's on what? And I even went to the theater and paid for it. Like, I'm a fucking idiot. Imagine that. You go to the theater, they're like, oh, I saw that on Netflix. And the guy's like, what?
You saw it where?
It's 8 hours long. Are you serious?
But you know something, even if like these people were probably terrible people when they made these books and shit, and I can go and say about like Lewis Carroll, you know, he liked them girls young. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the guy who wrote Alice in Wonderland was like a convicted pedophile.
So like as you go about this kind of stuff, and like Roald Dahl, right? Like Netflix just bought Roald Dahl's his royalties and all that stuff. Didn't he they bought like the licenses to his properties and everything, and he hated the Jews. So I mean, come on.
He's on the record. Didn't though.
Yeah, like
didn't was it Henry Ford? Didn't he have like a secret newspaper?
Yes.
Yeah. Like all these people that are supposed to be like leaders of industry and all that stuff. Yeah, they were pretty terrible.
I mean, dude, fucking like Marlon Brando came out and said shit about the Jews.
Well, of course he did. He worked with them. Look, the point is
and then that's the thing is like, and then he apologized, and then the Jews said, yeah, he can go back to work, you know.
Yeah, but then also you got to realize like people are still mad about John Wayne. Remember when they found like the John Wayne letter that he wrote? And
remember when they tried to cancel him even though he'd been dead for like
30 years or so? It's like
John Wayne.
Yeah.
Okay, dude. Like there are plenty. I mean, you could even talk about, to go like way back to our earlier conversation, is like Spike Lee kind of made Jewish characters in his movies a very specific way, right? A little Michael Rappaport-ish, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
To where like isn't that a cancelable offense as well? Like, why do we only do it with the white guys that have created shit?
Yeah. Why do we pick and choose?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not. I mean,
you like ain't wrong.
The Black Panthers, the group hated the Jews.
Yeah, I mean,
right? Like, they.
But again, who didn't hate the Jews?
And they let the Black Panthers walk through the Capitol with shotguns in hand.
The list goes on and on. I mean, like, when you think about it, it's just like, but once again, we got to realize that most of the people that are offended are looking to be offended any damn way. So they don't really use any logic or reason with this shit. That's why like Twitter is like the best comedy act going. That's like when we were talking about Facebook being shut down and I saw all those people happily flocking over there to Twitter from what I could see when I wasn't in my NyQuil haze.
Mm-hmm. On that lean.
Yeah. I was like,
hell yeah.
Wait. You guys love Jack Dorsey now?
Oh yeah. Hell yeah. That's the guy who lets the Taliban have a Twitter account, but Donald Trump can't.
It's wild.
I mean, before we even continue our conversation, Jay, there's been a lot, we've been talking about all the negative stuff about the Jews. I want you to, for the people at home, can you give us one nice thing about the Jews? Just give us like a nice little fact about the Jews.
They are very.
Oh
no.
They are helpful in
financing.
They are organized and very structured.
All right. There we go. We've evened out the universe.
I think we just even out the Western Hemisphere because we're both on lies, but yeah, okay.
All right. So before we get on this first story, just out there, can we get a round of applause for those who've probably, I don't know, you don't have to literally do it. I don't really care. Vaccinated. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Vaccinated citizens doing their part for the greater good. Now, with that out of the way, summer is saying its goodbye in weird ways here in California, especially with record highs. I don't know about you, Jay, but it's been hot as hell here. Just last week, even. But Los Angeles is definitely still feeling the burn in more ways than one, because in spite of growing concern for public health, there sure does seem to be a hell of a spike in STD cases in Los Angeles. As bad as saying that our country's in the middle of an ongoing STD crisis that has seen cases here skyrocket. As you've seen with COVID-19. As you've seen with COVID-19, the rise in STDs is heavily associated with many social determinants in health, leading to many of the same communities hit disproportionately by the pandemic bearing the brunt of this crisis as well. I take that to say, you guys can chime in. I take that to say that minorities be fucking.
Straight up.
Yeah. Right?
I mean, what else can you say, man? I mean, these are in the days. You might as well go get that orgy fest going on nowadays. Make the magic happen.
And that's what I'm saying, though, too. Do you think, like, with the focus on, like, the mask mandates and shit, the one thing they stopped telling people was, please, for the love of God, still wear condoms, though?
Well, don't you guys have, like, that new law where, it has to be, or you at least need to talk about the wrapping or something, because nowadays you got to have a few minute conversation before you get into the heat of passion and shit.
Yeah. I mean, that's actually a law. It's like, or it's, I don't know if it's a law. I don't want to speak without.
It's a bill. Just a bill.
Yeah. It's on Capitol Hill, man.
Yeah.
And it says the board directed the county's various health departments to report back with an updated plan of action, including expanded access to testing and treatment, community education campaigns, and a public STD dashboard to track cases. It also asked legislative affairs staffers to advocate for additional federal and state resources to combat the trend of people fucking. With this motion, we can make sure that the relevant agencies work together with community partners and healthcare organizations to coordinate a plan of action to address this crisis and put resources behind it. Do you?
Seems like a lot of talking, a lot of work.
I mean, okay, so
the most simplest thing,
right? And the funny thing is last year there were reports of condom shortages.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
So I find it. I'll ask you guys this: would you rather get COVID or the clap?
Well, give me the clap.
Well,
thank you.
One messes
just give me the clap.
One messes with my dick, and the other one messes with my respiratories. Yeah, I'll take the clap too. I mean, come on, let's just be honest.
Yeah.
I got to dive into the pool somewhere. I mean, it's already like I'm wrapped down below, and then I got to wear a mask, and then it's like, you know what? Heaven forbid we both cough on each other during the first. When you think about it,
when you know, you're like, oh, and that's when you spread it. Yeah. Also, too, is there any correlation between this and that one report from last month where they were saying that millions of fake vaccination cards were being sent to LA? Because now let's say this lady's like, oh, I won't, or a guy, whoever under the bridge is coordinating with you to suck your dick, right? Man, woman, mix, miscellaneous, whatever
the people be fucking.
Yeah. So if let's say someone says, oh, I just want proof that you're vaccinated, a little quick trip to wish.com or Amazon, right? And you're off to you're condom free, baby. You bought your $10 bag of disposable fucking masks, right?
Right.
And then you show this little fake vaccine card. Your dick's all hard. It's wagging. It look like a dog that just got home, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And there you are, just dipping it in the fire. It's
put another log on.
Yeah, I mean, do you think people thought that if they got the vaccine that they weren't going to get fucking AIDS and shit?
That's that's what I was going to say. Like, hey, don't worry, baby, I'm not going to get the clap. I'm vaccinated.
Yeah.
But they weren't really talking about those other diseases and stuff. They weren't even talking about the flu. Matter of fact, COVID was just selling so much paper and so much ad time. We just forgot about all the other damn diseases. I mean, there isn't nothing else plaguing our lives that doesn't have a cure to it. But if you get vaxxed up, though, you get a free ticket to the show. And don't forget to show your paperwork as you're laying there getting ready for love.
Yeah. That's kind of scary. Another fact, too. Magic Johnson has AIDS. He didn't catch COVID, though. So I'm not saying the science isn't, the data isn't in yet, fellas. But
COVID couldn't catch him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Johnson is magic for sure there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Maybe that's it. What if the cure to COVID is AIDS, fellas? What are you going to do then? Huh? What are you going to do then, huh?
Look, you're on your AIDS party by yourself, damn it. Okay?
You're on
AIDS
that party
island by yourself, damn it. The solo shot helping.
With Big Tarvey, I'm undetectable.
Yeah, that's right. You go ahead and you be about that life, sir.
I don't know. I'm not trying. My penis isn't. I'm open to everything. I want the rainbow on my dick. I want to wrap my dick in a rainbow. I want my rainbow to look
go ahead, man. I mean, Skittles is looking for spokespeople.
I want it to look like a fucking.
Yeah, that's right. You wrap that shit. Go on, man. Do what must be done.
You remember the roll up that were just like they were like pancakes made out of wax that you could eat or whatever the fuck that was. And here we're worried about COVID, and they were feeding us fucking roll ups.
I mean, we should be able to survive anything then, pretty much.
That's what I'm saying, dog. Like, it was in McDonald's before.
Oh, yes.
We should be fucking impervious to this shit.
Practically parts of horse and everything. So, I mean, think about it. Yeah.
I know. Okay,
not even the good parts.
Nah.
Not even the cock part.
It's your chicken nuggets.
Good. I'm loving it. All right. Next story is long before Jordan Peterson and his intellectual dark web cohorts fought to enlighten men and women of the pervasive powers of censorship at the hands of big data. Too Short remarked, "You can't make a hoe a housewife." But also, he said, blow the whistle. And blow is what ex-Facebook employee Frances Hagen did. But then the next day, everyone's Wi-Fi was tripping. Coincidence, Jay?
I wouldn't be surprised if old Zuck was petty enough to pull that kind of shit.
He pulled his router. He pulled his router and our internet went down.
Well, I mean, remember when The Social Network came out and like nobody went to go see it for like its first week? Yeah. And then all of a sudden Facebook didn't work, and then everybody got up and went to go see this movie and said it was the greatest movie they ever saw.
Yeah.
There ain't no coincidence here. That motherfucker knows.
If anything, for the International Association of Karens had no comms this day when everything went down. There was no way to share pictures of your ugly fucking kids or fucking terrible muffins you made, or
which are your kids.
Those are the muffins in the oven, these terrible ass kids.
Ugly ass kids, man.
Yeah. You ever seen a baby so ugly you just go, ugh? like in front of the parent.
Didn't you realize it was yours? Oh, what the fuck's wrong with me that night? 1,000 blood tests told me.
This kid looks like fucking Shang-Chi.
Shit, you got your mom's genes.
Yeah. You got your mom's genes? That's fucking sad. Yeah, I don't know. But as creatives, is it alarming, but also a reminder that, like, and we've had these conversations before too. And Jay, you and I even did a whole fucking conversation on the Hangouts about this.
Yeah, we did.
Which was about the installation of these platforms being ways to market what you do and not necessarily kind of hinging your whole life on it because of stuff exactly like this. Like, outside of the abuse of the systems, this lady's saying that, like, yeah, Facebook talks a good game about, like, oh, we can't find out what's hate speech and we don't know how to censor terrorist organizations that traffic children on these apps. This lady's saying that they do, but they let it happen because it brings in data, traffic, and money, right?
Right.
So outside of that, on the creative end, should this be a reminder to people that are creatives to remember that, like, they need to build their own kind of nest egg of hostable content? Because, I mean, one day it's Facebook, one day it'll be Spotify, one day it could be fucking Apple Podcasts, one day it could be Apple Music, one day it could be fucking, you know, whatever else somebody has.
Like, pretty much
it'll never be OnlyFans.
That's Eric's right.
Well, I don't know anymore. But you know, you mean like having your own website, pretty much your central hub that's supposed to let people know this is where you are, this is your own, instead of like relying on it? Hell yeah.
Yeah, that. And I think too, like, let's say these systems go down one day, right?
And they have.
So, yeah, and if they go down for long periods of time, has it corrupted the way we look at how we market ourselves, right? Like, and then again, the scariest shit is that, like, it kind of puts everyone back to zero. Without Instagram, what the fuck would Tekashi 6ix9ine have done to market his music? Jack shit.
Nothing.
You know? So it becomes that thing where I think in hindsight, when you brought that up too, like, people freaking out, like, yeah, there's a bunch of Instagram girls that do squats and fucking Photoshop their ass to be all big and shit. And they're sad because today they don't get their dopamine drip of 1,000 likes, right?
Right.
But outside of that too, you know, the fear of, like, missing out on potential reach is another scary thing. And how many, think about this, like, there's one Instagram, but there's not other competitors in that space. You know, there's no, like, Instagram like thing you could just jump to pick up traffic.
Well, yeah, but if Google had their shit together, it probably would have been. Looks over at Google Plus. Anyway.
That's true. But then again, too, like, so let's say a company like Google, right, or Facebook in this instance, owns multiple apps: WhatsApp, Messenger, Instagram, Facebook, right? So if Facebook goes down, technically headquarters, all those go down. And I think the scary thing to me when I'm looking at this in a realistic way was, like, if these big giant tech companies all fail one day or go down one day, right?
Right.
They take like 8 different platforms with them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no, like, independent startup that's comparable. I mean, and this is the thing, there almost was. Remember last year there was, like, Telegrams and Signals and fucking Wicker, whatever all these shits were, right?
Yeah.
But just because it happened to be, like, some ex-Marines that decided to get into app development, they made those seem dangerous, right? Yep. Like, they were scared because your messages were private. Like,
oh wow, yeah.
Imagine that shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you know, there was one that was in the back of the day. It was called Vero. Remember Vero? It was supposed to have been like the social media network without all the, you know, social media hijinks and crap.
Yeah, you actually had to pay into it to join, I think, or something like that. It's like a membership fee or something.
I got into it for free somehow, but anyway.
For a while, at the beginning, there was like the open beta was like anyone can join, right?
Yeah.
And then they found out they weren't making money, and they decided to pull that other shit, right?
Yeah, and then they decided, hey, well, I mean, that's the thing too, is to get complete privacy. I mean, like, if you didn't pay for a hotel room, they would make the walls out of glass, and everyone could just watch you fucking take a shower and shit, right?
I mean, the Greeks did it.
Yeah, and look what happened with them. They're fine.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, their economy's all fucked up.
Hey, we were talking about fucking. We weren't talking about anything about economical.
Oh yeah. But like, I don't know. I just thought about. It made me think. Like, damn, dude. The craziest thing is that there's no like lateral move to a platform that's just like it. Right. Like,
I mean, like,
anytime someone goes, oh yeah, you can find me on fucking, I don't know, make up a name of a video streaming thing. Like, you can find me on Streamfire, whatever.
Yeah.
Everyone just like rolls their eyes and like, oh, okay, they must have fucking Taliban beheading videos on there or some shit. Like, no one knows, you think about it as like, might as well be like Newgrounds or fucking eFuck World or whatever.
Well, like Mixer. Remember like Mixer back in the day? And like that was the big Twitch killer. And then oops, Microsoft doesn't want it no more.
True. How about this, guys? We could do this. We could go to Pornhub and make a pitch. We don't really want to be on Pornhub, but we want to use like this uncensored version of like stream hosting to stream media content that is like okay for public consumption, not like just wanking your dick.
Well, yeah. I mean, you could always have like a little side project there that's just as good. I mean, like, why not?
Wanking your dick? Or are you talking about the other thing?
No, man. I was talking about like the other thing, like, like where like from the business point of view on it,
yeah.
Like we could actually help them out with like syndication. And that's pretty much what it is.
Right. Like they could, with all their streaming and video hosting abilities, right? Like we joke, but it's also kind of true. Like OnlyFans and fucking Pornhub never go down. Never, ever go down.
Watch them go down by next week. Anyway, go on.
I know. Huh? We just fucking jinxed it.
You just jinxed everybody.
What am I going to do with that OnlyFans? What am I going to...
Yeah, that's going to be funny.
Isn't it weird that OnlyFans exists and is still in the age where you can find plenty of porn for free?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not only existing, but like flourishing.
Yeah, and even if it ever goes away, the Wayback Machine will always be there to make sure that we get that free, delicious click.
Yeah, and Jay's giving up his whole sauce right there. Yeah. And that's why I got the Wayback Machine. Cue like the lightning fucking Dr. Frankenstein sound effect and shit.
Sure. Give me a few minutes. I'll get that stuff prepared for next episode. But you're right.
You know what the funny thing is about OnlyFans to me is like in the age of when I was single, like I would have happily sent a picture of my dick before sending a picture of me smiling alone in a room. Is there nothing more psychotic than a man just smiling at a camera, like by himself? Like when he's by himself, like you can see his arm in frame reaching out, holding the camera. And is there nothing more like just jarring of the fact that like this man is smiling alone? Like, isn't that like Joker-ish behavior? Like you look like a psychopath with that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but some girls are into that.
Psychopaths?
Oh yeah.
Okay, all right. So we'll close it out with this. Venom 2. Let There Be Carnage.
Okay.
Have you seen it?
I saw it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't done yet. I was saying, and wasn't it super cool how he ends up in the MCU at the end? But before you go on, guys, calm down. Please, no spoilers.
Please, no spoilers. You just said what you said.
You just ruined the whole thing.
I just went online and looked up Venom, and the fucking plot was there. So
ain't much of a plot, but still, though, damn, man, you could have talked about the graphic novel it was based on if you wanted to. Ass.
Jay, you said this before we started. You said Venom is so good, it's definitely not a Shang-Chi, so there is no chink in this Marvel armor here. What did you mean by that?
Never said any of that shit, you lying son of a... Because I don't even use that slang term. I call them yin men. Now you stop that bullshit.
Yin yang. So, okay, guys.
Yin men.
We got about 7.5 minutes. You give us the rundown on Venom 2. I'll let Eric, you want to start? You want to go in?
Yeah, let Eric go ahead and start. Damn, he's hurt.
You know what? It wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be, but it wasn't good either. I think it's like slightly better than the first one, and it's only because of the like the fight scenes. They were a little more. They weren't as like jarring.
Not so overly edited.
Right.
Like the first one. Yeah.
Right. Outside of that, it was okay.
Do you think, Jay, first, before we even move on, Jay, do you agree? Do you feel the same way, or do you have like a
I feel the same way. That has gotten technically better, but you would hope that a movie would technically get better anyway.
That's kind of the point.
The whole thing with the whole thing is that they only fought once. That's what kind of killed me about that.
Wait. Hold on a second here. Okay, so I'm gonna play the role of average Joe citizen watching guy, right? They only fought once?
One time.
Yeah.
What?
Like,
dude, I'd have started screaming in this movie theater.
You would expect like they would square off at multiple times, but no, they only fought once.
But it's because they spent the entire movie like
building it up.
Yeah.
Chasing him, technically, just like chasing Carnage, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's about it. And then arguing with each other left and right, pretty much like the Odd Couple thing. Like, all that stuff that you didn't feel as though you didn't see in the first Venom movie, you're seeing a much more of it here.
Yeah, they kind of ignored like everything that was set up in the first Venom and just kind of like started over.
Yeah.
It's one of those sequels, which is like
hey, you didn't see the first one, but
yeah, I think they might have made a reference to it, but it was
passing, very passing.
Yeah. It was in the dialogue, so like if you weren't paying attention, you miss it.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, this is not a perfect film by any means.
No,
it is a lot more entertaining than say like go see No Time to Die. It's a lot more entertaining than that.
Did you see that, Jay? Did you see James Bond?
Nah, and it wasn't all that great.
But
story for another time. But as for Venom, it's like, you're excited because you want to see Carnage. That's why. That's the wholesale and then meal ticket right there, and then the battle between them. That's all there is.
I think the only thing they got right about it was just sort of like the trail that Carnage left along the way.
Like he was violent, obviously, right?
And I never understand like why they always got to go with the whole PG-13. Like Carnage is an R-rated villain.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're gonna ride this one to the T. Wait until like the home release for more uncut stuff. And it's like, nah.
You bring that up. And that's an interesting point, because one thing that concerned me about this not being rated R is there's a lot, especially with like that one fucking Free Guy clip that's like circulating the internet where he has like Cap America shield and fucking Hulk hand, right? And he's fighting himself in this like meta video game movie he made.
Yeah.
My ultimate concern with that, especially what you guys are saying now, and we can maybe chew on this before we close out, is like the fucking idea that like Disney now owns Deadpool too.
Fuck.
And so if you're not going to at least do it with Venom, which gives you like every free license to go as rated R as you want, right? How the fuck do you think they're going to do Deadpool when it's his turn to join the MCU like they keep teasing?
Yeah, it's going to be Saturday morning cartoon-esque.
Oh, man, shit.
It's going to be like Spider-Man and Friends.
Near.
Yeah.
It's nerfed. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen.
It's nerf or nothing. Yeah.
And it's nothing.
Yeah, I know. Everyone's
I'll take nothing.
I would
like, if anything, like
bad.
Everybody wants to really bridge that gap, and they will. I mean, they did it cleverly, but at the same time, you're expecting more from this Venom movie. Like even what like the first one was pretty light. I remember saying that. It's like, oh, they just went with Lethal Protector storyline, but it's a lot lighter. And then they went ahead and they did this to Maximum Carnage, so maybe it does deserve that stupid title they gave it. So
yeah, that just shit. They fight once. It's not even worth watching. I'll just wait till the fucking YouTube clip comes out of that.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, what the fuck is the point? Like,
I mean, he was tracking him though. I mean, we got to say that he was, but
yeah, I say it's worth watching, but I wouldn't rush to the theaters.
Also, too, what fucking possible story could they tell where Tom Holland's Peter Parker is this guy's bad guy? Like, I know they're hinting at something, right, from what I was understanding, but what? Like Tom Holland's Peter Parker is technically like a fucking Catholic priest at this point. Like, he doesn't even swear.
Yeah.
Like, what would he do that's so wrong?
Well, as soon as this Spider-Man movie comes out, we're gonna see some interesting things, I guess.
He calls Eddie Brock's girlfriend a bitch. And maybe just like, ooh.
I mean, maybe it'll be the most passive aggressive way possible, or something semi woke. Who knows? That usually offends people.
Yeah, I mean, like that whole setup too. Like,
That's all everybody was talking about.
What? Yeah, like what? I didn't even understand what his deal was, because he just popped up on a TV and was like, "Yeah, that's the guy. Let's go after him." Like, wait, what? Why?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, what? Because he's Spider-Man? What?
Yeah, I don't.
What?
It's because he's white. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
Or maybe a little piece of the costume lands on him or something like that. It's gonna be.
Yeah, but wouldn't that have to even?
Way?
And then again, here goes Marvel doing their fucking Captain Marvel bullshit or Black Widow thing.
Or you mean the Marvels?
No, I'm talking about like the Black Widow thing. Like, here goes another story where we're gonna be stuck between a bunch of nonchalant story points where no one gives a fuck, right? Like that's where they're gonna tell this story, and then we're all gonna go, oh, we got fucking played again. Great.
Yeah, like this is what happened in between this movie and this movie.
Exactly. And then here we are. And they go, here's Shang-Chi 3. You're like, oh fuck.
Yeah, it's gonna be sloppy as hell.
That's how I like it.
You don't like it this way.
I like it wet, but I don't like it gross.
Well, then you don't have a problem seeing this movie then.
Yeah, you know, I'll see when the Chinese guy walks by with those bootleg DVDs.
The one where his handprint's all in the middle so you don't see shit.
Yeah, he offers me like a fake Gucci bag and Venom for like $5.
You can get one with ads.